Yo, what up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the one and only troll on the internet, Cyphex43, and I'm making a video that's been due for probably 2 years. I was really bored in ethics class today, and I started to think about Call of Duty, because I was deciding whether or not to buy it when I got home, and I did not. I do not have it right now, but I do have it pre-ordered. And I'm hoping that I put the least amount of time into this one that I do out of any of them. But I did see that the Blackbird is in the game, and that is it's not necessarily a good thing, but it rewards my playstyle. So we'll see about that, because a little 348 action on Black Ops 1 was always nice. But yeah, back to the story. So I was getting bored, started thinking about the dumb game, and I remembered watching Dan Lebitard, who has like the best TV show ever. Dan Lebitard is highly questionable, and the producer, or he criticizes basically everybody in the NFL and the NBA and all the sports guys, and that's kind of like what I like to do. I just like to criticize all the video games, and he pointed out to the producer that he's the guy that points out the problems and never offers solutions. And we have that in common. But that changed when I was brainstorming. I think I figured out how you fix Ghost or UAV Jammer. And then once I did that, and once I thought of what I thought of, everything was just springing out of that. I've been getting a lot better at like brainstorming recently. Like I'm starting to actually hear lyrics in songs. Like 6 months ago and the rest of my life, if it wasn't as clear as day, I wouldn't know the lyrics at all. But now, like I've been hearing old songs where I'm actually hearing what the singer or rapper is saying, and it's wonderful. I love it. So I'm becoming like a better thinker or something. I don't know. But so yeah. I'm not sure if this new Ghost has fixed Black Ops 2. I did notice that, not fixed Black Ops 2, but Call of Duty in general. I did notice that it was the last, or you had to be 55 to unlock it. So that has to help. You guys have played the game. Maybe you could tell me. I have noticed, or I watched Marker J's video, and there was just red dots all over the place when there's no Blackbird. So, I mean that looks pretty fun, but I haven't played it yet, so can't really comment on that. But I was thinking UAV Jammer. First of all, that's what I would name it. The perk. Okay, so UAV is up for 30 seconds, right? And say, I'm not sure if this is factual or not, so this is just going to be hypothetical. The UAV sweep, the radar, it goes by, let's say it goes by once every 3 seconds. So it goes by 10 times during UAV. I would make UAV Jammer where you don't show up on every other sweep. So instead of never showing up, you would only show up 5 times instead of 10. That, for some reason, that just clicks in my brain. Sometimes you're on the UAV and people know who you are, and then you get 6 seconds of immunity until the next time instead of only 3. I just feel like that would work. I would love to play test that for hours and hours. Just a perk that could do that. I honestly think that would work. It would be like, say you're trying to flank on like strike, trying to get out of a spawn trap, and they see the red dot in the spawn, and then it goes by, and normally they'd see your red dot immediately like in the market or near the statue, and you're trying to get out of the spawn trap, and you're like, alright, look over there, kill a kid, but you don't show up. And then you're still flanking, and the next one comes up, and all of a sudden you're near C flag. It's like, holy crap, how'd that kid get there? That would be because of the perk, and then you disappear for another few seconds instead of just 1 second. I honestly think that would work. I would love to talk to somebody involved with Infinity Ward from Warfare 4 or whoever is doing the next one. It'd be like, please just try this, you know? So I'm sure now you guys are just typing away saying how horrible that is or suggesting your own thing. You have to understand. This is mine and TCG's channel, okay? I'm sure there's people who've already left paragraph comments saying how they would make Call of Duty. That's great. Go make your own video. You know? You're entitled to your own opinion on your own video and in the comment section, but when I don't reply or delete the comment, don't be mad. Okay? Okay. Let's see. So that was the first major change that I would make. The second thing I would do is I would duplicate the Call of Duty 4 HUD and health system and maps. The Call of Duty, if you watch a multi-COD montage, there is no arguing that the COD 4 clips always look the best. The HUD is clean, the graphics are fine, it's so easy to see what's going on, the enemies are visible, the kill feed is at full opacity, or full, 100% bright, I don't know, it is full opacity. Everything just looks perfect. And then you have Warfare 2 and Warfare 3 HUDs, and I don't like the Black Ops 2 HUD at all. Like I know they're trying to make it look futuristic, which they did, but I don't like it at all, especially the kill feed. I mean, the only thing Warfare 3, or one of the only things that Warfare 3 had going for it was showing you what kill streak you're on. You could add that in, but everything else should be COD 4 HUD. And then the health system, most people would agree the Call of Duty 4 has the best health system as far as kill times go. And if you'd have to bring that back, you'd have to bring back Juggernaut. My red perks would be the following. I have all the perk lists up right now, and stopping power. There would be no pro perks first of all. I would make stopping power a red perk. I'd make UAV jammer a red perk, and I'd make Juggernaut a red perk. Juggernaut would also reduce damage to explosives, but not the same amount as damage as in Black Ops 1. Again, I don't know how much it is in Black Ops 2, but in Black Ops 1, you were a tank with Flak Jacket. This would not be the case. It would be more than Blast Shield, because Blast Shield was garbage. Those would be the three main red perks that you could choose from. And I'd also like to see how well stock power would work on snipers if you made it one shot anywhere in the body, just like the ACOG glitch. Except for, the wall turn, all those stupid ones, which actually I wouldn't even want in the game. Think about it. Are you going to be able to shoot back at somebody if you get hit by a 50 caliber sniper rifle bullet? Now, I know there's a lot of unrealistic things, but that one has always stood out to me. If I hit you in the shoulder or in like the upper thigh with a Barrett 50 cal, you're not shooting back. And you're not strafing or drop shotting or doing whatever you're going to do to me. One shots for the bolt action if 50 caliber snipers. Now you could make it so there are pro perks and that Stopping Power Pro does that, but that's too complicated. Okay, then I'd make, of course, Juggernaut and Stopping Power would cancel that out. So if you have Juggernaut, you can't get one-shotted unless it's in the neck or head area. Just makes it as simple as that. And then UAV Jammer would be like I described. It would only affect UAVs because the kill streaks would be very simple. I would absolutely duplicate what Cobra suggested and came up with probably over a year ago, where you have 3 sets of kill streaks. Lower tier, your UAV, counter UAV, maybe even like RC car, just all the little dumb things in there. And then the middle tier, the Predator missile, the airstrikes. Then the upper tier, the air support, Pavlos and helicopters. And you can only pick one from each. You cannot pick Pavlo, Harrier, gunship. You have to pick either UAV or counter UAV, and then Predator airstrike, or Harrier and then Pavlo. That is, without question, the way that the Killstreaks should have gone, but they somehow didn't. So UAV jammer would just it would do the radar sweep thing, and I would also make it so when you come off spawn, you are not seen by enemy Killstreaks for 5 seconds. So after those 5 seconds, you show up as a red dot, and you can get shot at by AI controlled Killstreak, just by everybody else, which will make it so that's the Stinger class, of course, and you'd have one Stinger. So that means one guy can't take out air support, because all the air support in the upper tier is going to have flares, of course, and it wouldn't be only one flare, which is absolutely ridiculous. The highest one in the game would probably have 2 to maybe even 3 flares. You have to reward the people for getting kill streaks, and yes, the kill streaks would stack. I'm sorry if this seems scrambled. I haven't written down any of this, and I'm just looking at my TV that's black, talking. So we'll get more into that later. I'm gonna go back to the red perks. So stopping power, Juggernaut, UAV jammer. Juggernaut, explosive damage, UAV jammer would help with kill streaks, but not that much. I would like to have double tap in the game and not have rapid fire as an attachment. And I feel like double tap's one of those perks that is, underlooked. I remember using it on the M16 and thinking it was really good. And instead of increasing the fire rate on the burst weapons, I think it would be better that it increases or it decreases the fire delay in between bursts. So you have, instead of you have like rapid fire. That is double tap, you're shooting faster. And then I wouldn't want it to be better than stopping power. I want it to be the same kill time. So it would be a matter of preference. It would be balanced. Hello. What a term. Holy crap. And then, throwing overkill, that's perfectly fine for sniper shotty. I'm not sure where I would put sleight of hand. Probably as a blue perk, but sleight of hand stopping power would be kind of ridiculous. Morpher 2. Okay, you know what? I'll rephrase that. I would not have anything allow you to zoom in faster. Everything would have the same zoom in speed. Call of Duty 4, sniper zoom in speed. None of this zoom in faster pro bullshit. Okay, get at that. None of this coming out of sprint faster bullshit. No pro perk shit, okay? Let's go back up to the blue perks. I'd make it so you'd spawn with 1 frag and 1 stun, flash, or smoke grenade. And then the blue perks would be frag 2 instead of frag 3, flash 2 or special 2 instead of special 3, claymore 1 instead of claymore 2, C4 1. Actually, yeah, everybody would still spawn with frags and whatever, and then you could have the option to spawn with a claymore or C4 or an extra frag, an extra stun. And then as far as bandolier or scavenger goes, I think I came up with a pretty good idea for scavenger. I'd like to make it standard where every player can pick up ammo if the enemy is using that. So say you have an M16 and frag and special and a stun grenade. You kill somebody who has the same setup and they haven't used anything, you should be able to pick up their ammo, their frag, and their special grenade. Where scavenger would make it so if they have an MP5, a smoke grenade, and Semtex, you can pick up their Semtex, their smoke grenade, and the MP5 ammo will turn into M16 ammo. So if you have scavenger, you can literally replenish everything. Even if you didn't have it before. None of this, you throw a throwing knife and run over somebody and they don't have a throwing knife and you pick theirs up and it turns into a throwing knife and a blue fucking vulture shows up on the screen. If you have a throwing knife and you have scavenger on and you run over somebody using frag and they didn't throw it, you pick up their frag grenade. How hard is that to follow, you know? So that would be scavenger. Basically infinite of everything if nobody's using their stuff. And then for sit rep and bomb squad would not be a green perk, it would absolutely be a blue perk. I'd make it just like bomb squad from CoD 4. A skull shows up, you don't want to go that way. None of this delaying the diffuse or making it red and seeing through walls, making it red. It turns into a goddamn skull, okay? It's as simple as that. And since we were talking about sit rep, might as well talk about dead sounds. The sound engine would have to be exactly from CoD 4. You can hear dead silence with a good headset if you both have it on. If you're crouching, you make no noise. If you're planting the bomb, you can't hear them. If you're defusing, you can't hear the bomb for fake diffuses. Fake diffuses. If you're aiming down sight, you can't hear somebody. No stalker. The CoD 4 sound engine is the best one so far, and Modern Warfare 2 was pretty good also, but then Black Ops, since Black Ops, it has gone straight down the tank. So no sitrep pro making footsteps louder, just make it so you can hear them normally, and then you can wear dead silence. How hard is that to believe? Of course, no martyrdom, no last stand. I would put deep impact in the game. I don't like FMJ bullets or rapid fire bullets. Extreme conditioning. I think. What would I do? Marathon is good and all, but running infinitely is bad. So, I think extreme conditioning would make you go over stuff faster, and you would run. If you used a perk, how about this? On the HUD, introduce a bar that shows your stamina, and extreme conditioning would make the bar longer, and it would make it recharge faster for your stamina for running. So, say you use all of it, and then it slowly goes back up, and then you sprint again, and then you sprint again. Extreme conditioning would make the bar go up faster, so you could sprint longer every time you sprint again. Sounds simple, right? And then steady aim. Steady aim, I've always had problems with steady aim. Steady aim involves kill cams. Kill cams involve frustration, and frustration leads to suffering. And suffering leads to hate. Okay, I'm not Yoda. Okay, so say you have the reticle, okay, from hipfire stance, and it's pretty wide without steady aim, and then steady aim tightens it. I would make it, and then, okay, not saying what I would make it yet. So normal steady aim makes it so your hipfire spread is tighter throughout the entire 30 bullet clip, and then without it, it's nice and wide, and you have pretty good bloom. I'd make it so steady aim starts out tighter, and then within like a few seconds, it just turns into a normal bloomed hipfire. So you are rewarded for having steady aim for your first, let's say, 10 bullets. By the time you get to the 11th, or by the time you get to like the 15th, it's like you don't have steady aim on, because people who just run around hip-firing SMGs, I've done it before, you can't have that. You can't have 30 bullets of laser beam SMG bullets coming out of your gun. You can have 10, but not 30. So, I think I just described that, but I'm not sure if I did it well enough. So that would be a green perk. That, deep impact, extreme conditioning, dead silence, that's 4 perks, and then just throw in iron lungs. And that's 5. 5 perks would be enough to choose from, right? I talked about the blue perks, C4, no RPGs, God no. Special 2, Bomb Squad, Claymore, Frag 3, and Scavenger. So, I'm sure I could think of, I'll probably think of another green perk later when I look through the other perk list. Then Juggernaut. Oh yeah, I don't know where to put Sleight of Hand. Probably blue perks, that's 7. Juggernaut, Stopping Power, Double Tap, Jammer, overkill. Was that 5? No, no, no bling. Jesus Christ, no warlord. Oh my god. No. 1 attachment. Grip for guns that need it. Red dot sight. Silencer. ACOG. And that's it. No extra ammo. No dual mag bullshit. Everything needs to be kept simple. Flamethrower was the first perk in World at War. Hello. Yeah, not a fan of bling at all. So let me just try to look through these perks real quick if I can get any ideas. Oh god. They're more for 2 perks. Here they are. Here they come. Oh yeah, one-man army. I would absolutely put one-man army into the game. I'd have no noob tubes, so that wouldn't even be an issue. I repped one-man army all the time on Warfare 2. It was excellent for changing classes, you know, if the enemy Killstreak was in the air. You switch to a cold-blooded one-man army class, and you run around with a silent SMG. Once that goes away, you switch back to like a silent assault rifle with stopping power, and then you could switch to like a lightweight class if you need to get away or something. One-man army was great. Oh yeah, and of course I'd have lightweight. So I think I just turned Frag 2 and Stun 2 into Warlord Pro and just make it so you spawn with extra frags. Because I have a lot of blue perks. Not enough red perks. No Commando, no Scrambler. Jesus Christ, I'm just looking at this fucking list. View Kick. View Kick is still something that I don't know what I would do with. I think see, I don't know. You can't be penalized for shooting somebody in the chest. That's the one thing I don't. Maybe y'all can figure out view kick. Because I can't. No hardline. Not a fan of hardline. And I think no tac mask. Are you kidding me? Recon. Wow. Recon could be a red perk, definitely. Oh, Stalker. Marksman could be a green perk easily. Alright, so enough with the perks. The perks would be balanced. I mean, I definitely described balanced perks. But, the fuck? Okay, let's see. What else is there to talk about? I would change the fuck out of the game types. All objective game modes would have a standard 4-second respawn time. You cannot play, or it can be almost impossible to play competitive demolition with instant respawn combined with flak jacket and nades. No, it doesn't work. You need to reward the player for killing the other player. You cannot have that player spawn back in and just kill them immediately. Halo 4 decided to go the Call of Duty route. Not too happy about that, even though I've already taken advantage of that. I don't know if you guys are subscribed to Walshy. Might have saw me on there. I'm a freaking gamer, what can I say? But you gotta have respawn delay, and none of this wave respawn delay where if you die first you get 12 seconds and then some kid dies fourth, he spawns immediately with you. No. 4 or 5 seconds like Halo fucking 3 or Reach. That would make it perfectly fine. As far as that, the game types are pretty good. Kill confirmed and team deathmatch, Who cares about that shit? You know, demo, it's good. I would use Black Ops CTF. Um, Domination is fine. The spawns. Wow, the spawns. I didn't think about the spawns at all. Fuck it, COD 4 spawns. Just take a lot of COD 4. You know, if you divide all this up into a pie, like 77% of this is coming out of COD 4, or is being inspired by COD 4. I mean, I don't know if that was the best one because I had a horrible aftertaste with that game just playing it after Modern Warfare 2, but that is the one that everybody likes, or everybody used to like, I should say. That was the most fun for everybody, usually. A lot of people. Berserkers. G-Shot. Speaking of G-Shot, just as a Easter egg, I'd put the G-Shot in the game, so if you actually do that with the sniper, the bullet will go significantly straighter. Not perfectly straight, but tighter than a steady aim reticule. Like, you know, fuck it, why not? Let's see. The maps. I would take, first of all, you know what, let's just get, let's see. Come on, let's see how fast I can find this. Is it really telling me the plot of Call of Duty 4 right now? Come on. Why am I getting, I don't know, by Usher stuck in my head right now? Alright, here we go. Alright, all of these maps would be in my video game. Ambush, Backlot, Bog, Countdown, Crash, Crossfire, District, fuck it, Downpour, Strike, Showdown, Vacant, even Wet Work. All of those maps would go in. Because those are the best Call of Duty maps. Only, like, I could maybe High Rise, maybe Invasion. World at War had some fine ones that I can't remember the name of, like, you know, Castle. Actually, I'll try to do that in a second. I'm loading up Black Ops 1. I also heard Black Ops 2 is the worst map ever, like Limon or something, Limon. I don't know. This website fucking blows. Oh yeah, tell me the zombie maps, dude. Alright, ooh, Array. That's a bad map. Okay, we'd get Villa in there, Summit, Jungle for sure, Havana, Firing Range, great map. You could make WMD work without the train. And then I didn't really play any of the DLC ones. But yeah, Summit with COD 4 settings would be great. Firing Range. Hello. Jungle, Havana. Yeah, Black Ops had some pretty damn good maps. Let me bring up the World at War ones. Maps are very important, if I haven't already tried to make that obvious. Okay, I remember Airfield, Asylum, Castle, Cliffside, Courtyard, Dome, Downfall, Hangar, Macon, Outskirts. Let's see, which one was Outskirts? Roundhouse, Upheaval, not CeeLo. All those maps without tanks would work too. Basically combine all these maps and then not really like duplicate them, but make... Okay, the one thing about these maps that are all have in common is that Seeing the enemy is very easy. None of them have anything to do with Fallen. Okay. I've brought this up plenty of times, but if you're fighting the Alp 4 on strike, they're wearing purple uniforms in like an orangish, setting. That's perfect contrast. It was a disadvantage to be them because they were so out in the open. And that's why it was so much fun to play the game for me, because you could actually see the fucking enemy. I could zoom in with I could aim down sight on Warfare 3 and just look for people, and they wouldn't be there, and then I'd get killed by somebody in a ghillie suit with Assassin Pro in the bushes because they try to make it so realistic looking. They need to dumb down the appearance of these maps. Like even Ragnarok, they tried to make everything come alive and add a bunch of shit. Regular Valhalla was perfectly fine. The Spartans are red and blue. You can clearly see them. This Valhalla has like a blue tint. And the Spartans are lighter blue. I'm not saying they're hard to see, but they blend in easier. And just making the enemies clear, contrasting to the maps, I think is very, very important. And all these older gen maps, have that. And Black Ops was definitely did not have as good as graphics as Warfare 2 or Warfare 3, so that's why those maps work too. And of course the maps themselves, like the layouts, were much better than anything that Warfare 2 or Warfare 3 had to offer. Like Rundown? Really? Karachi? Underpass? Huh. Okay, so the maps, went over some of the perks, clarify the equipment, get spawned with frag or semtex, stun, concussion, or smoke, and then you can pick up, I said all that stuff earlier. Let's see what else is there. Oh, I don't know, the guns. Okay, this is when things are going to get interesting. Okay, let's go over the SMGs first, because I feel like the SMGs are important. So, like I said, COD 4 health. I would have I'd have the MP40 in there. Fuck it. Throw it in the game. Exact same gun from World War. I want to see if it could compete with an AKU. An Iron Sight AKU is a tough gun to beat. Red Dot MP5, throw it in there. Okay? So there's 3 powerhouse weapons. Warfare 2 UMP 45, throw it in there. Warfare 2 Vector, get into there. I want to see how these guns would compete. But I would change the UMP 45, so Blame's Truth, would be proud of his 1 star on my video. I would not make it so it's a 3 bullet kill anywhere. I'd make it balanced so it does, let me see. Is it like 40-20 what the SMGs do? I don't know the whole damage numbers. But 3 bullet kill across the map with silencer and lightweight, it's gotta go. That would definitely change. So that's 5 SMGs, right? I wonder if I could just bring up a gun list from all of the games. That would be crucial. No, not just Warfare 3. Oh, COD 7. Yeah, COD 7. Alright, I have a list of all of the guns. Okay. SMGs. We're gonna restart. SMGs. COD 4, MP5, and AKU, and P90. How could I forget the P90? The World at War Thompson and MP40. Buffed the Thompson a little bit. The UMP 45 from Warfare 2, nerfed for range, and the Vector. The no SMGs from Black Ops because, well, I'm sure you all remember how awful the SMGs were in Black Ops. I mean, AQ Rapid Fire was good, but it got nerfed and, well, yeah. God damn, there's a lot of guns in this game. I mean, you could argue the MPL or the Spectre, but no. Okay. Really? Whoa. Why are you lagging so much, Holmes? Of course, gotta get the MP7 in there. Oh my god, the MP7. And then that would be the only one from Warfare 3. Okay, so the SMGs, obviously, all of those would kick fucking ass. And, you know, you'd have to make them balanced. You know, the MP7 and the MP45 are both, you know, without question the best ones from their games. And then you have the three awesome ones from COD 4. You have the MP40 in there. I think that would be, it would be so much fun to just mess around with all those guns. Because nobody would ever just only use a specific gun. Like, nobody would just use the MP40. Are you kidding me? There's no way. So, I think that would provide exciting and non-linear gameplay. I don't know if that's the right term. And then you have to go into the assault rifles. I would take the Black Ops FAMAS, the COD 4 M16, the COD 4 AK, the Modern Warfare 2 FAMAS as well, just rename it or some shit, I don't know. The Modern Warfare 3 MK14. I'd buff the FAD and throw it in there. No SCAR. Screw the SCAR. The Modern Warfare 3 M4. Without question, the G11. Buffed, of course. No Galil. No Galil. I repeat. No Galil. The G3. Love the G3. And let's see what else is there. TAR 21, of course. How could I forget the TAR 21? I think that was more in the SMGs, but that's okay. And then the M1 Grand, of course. Gotta get some World War guns in there. No, not the M1 Grand, the Carbine. What am I thinking? So that was a lot of guns, but all those guns way past too. No bad guns in this video game. No bad guns. I'd probably give the M14 a little recoil. I'd make the G11 better. I'd make the FAMAS have a little bit more recoil than pre-patched FAMAS, but not nearly. Don't hit it like they did post-patch, even though it was still good. Let's see, what else is there? The TAR 21, just duplicate that fucking beauty of a gun. COD 4 AK for sure, instead of all the other AKs. And then you have the gross retarded child, the LMGs. It would be hard to even think of a light machine gun as good as the RPD from Call of Duty 4, but you know, you gotta have more than one gun in there, so I'd get a Stoner 63 in there with more ammo. And better iron sights for sure. Of course, you have to have the saw. That's just like standard. You know, you could turn the AOG back into an LMG. The L86 would of course work. The Browning. And I'd also increase the movement speed slightly so you don't feel like a fucking truck. What else is there? That's it for the LMGs, you know. Snore. I'd just make it so they kill as fast as they did post-patch in Warfare 3. And that you move a little bit faster, so they're usable. Guys, save the snipers for last. And actually, you know what? Secondaries. Pistols with the option to change to a launcher. And you can only use the launcher if you have jammer. Huh, that would be cool, wouldn't it? So none of this scavenger, stinger bullshit from Warfare 2 or... You know, I hated when people would use like lightweight Estrella on Black Ops. Are you kidding me? You're shooting down UAVs and you have lightweight? Grow a fucking pair of balls. Holy crap. So, pistol secondary, Deagle, Python. That's really like, why would you want to use anything other than one of those? So, shotguns. No high fire rate shotguns. No. No high fire rate. I'd want something in between a pre-patch and post-patch 87. Spaz 12, KSG, you know, get those bad boys in there. Let's see, what other shotguns were there? No AA-12. Maybe even the Rangers. Yeah, the Rangers were tight. And then the double barrel was sick from World War II. So none of this automatic fucking like A12 bullshit. Like A12 is either a god gun or, you know, you shoot somebody 3 times and they live. Like, nobody wants that, okay? And then of course you have the snipers. The 50 cal. The M40. Just the M40, the R700, the 50 cal, and the Dragunov. That's all you need. Yep, those are the 4 snipers. Just the Call of Duty 4 sniper rifles. No intervention. Sorry, you trick shooters. No launchers, of course. And then, gotta talk about attachments. Almost forgot about the attachments. Actually, no, I didn't. I said red dot, grip, silencer, and ACOG. That's all it should be. No, yeah. That's all it should be. Let's see. What else is there? We talked about all the guns. The Killstreaks. Kinda talked about the Killstreaks. I'd want them to stack, like I said. You know, if you call on a UAV after throwing a fucking nade. Oh yeah, and no, they're Killstreaks. They're not point streaks. If you cap B, awesome. You get more points. You don't get one towards your kill streak. Okay. This is how it should be. You throw a frag grenade, you get 2 kills, you get a gun kill, you call on a UAV. Okay? You get 2 more kills, you call on an airstrike, you get 2 more kills, you get a chopper. That's how it should be. Or you get a Harrier, or you need 4 more for payload. You know, that's how it should be. And I also want to talk about the counter UAV and how I changed that. I've always thought counter UAV was overpowered, which is why I would use it. You cannot block the entire UAV. You cannot, you know, change the contours of the map and block. Okay. And block, you know, A, B, and C. I think it should just be. This would actually be really cool now that I think about it. Make it so no red dots show up for 30 seconds. So if you have an automatic rifle without a silencer, and you call in a counter UAV and you're shooting, you don't show up as a red dot, but the map for your enemy is still there. I think that would confuse them even more than it would if it was blocked out, but it would also be balanced, if that makes sense. You know. Is there anything else to talk about in Call of Duty? Just same health as COD 4. Use all of the guns that are really good. Make good maps. Respawn timer. Balanced perks. Change some of the perks a little bit. Not sure what I would do with the view kick. Let me see if I can think of something. It's the whole you shoot them in the chest. They shoot you while getting shot in the chest. Their reticle goes up. You get hit in the head. You die. I don't know. I know exactly what to do. Just make it so focus is standard. Focus is built in. There is no view kick. There you go. That fixes that. Gun on gun battles, baby. Boom. Boom. Got it. Now what? Now fucking what? Like, what you gonna do with all that junk? I think that's it. No death streaks. Jesus Christ, no vehicles. Why shockwave after? Okay. No lag comp. Make it like COD 4, where if you're 3-bar, you have to lead the sniper shot, you know, foot off of them, and you pop them. I think that's how my Call of Duty would be. It'd be a fucking rape-ass game, too. Throw an Afghan. Now I think about it. Actually, let me just look at some more of the Modern Warfare 2 maps, because Modern Warfare 2 is a gamer game. Afghan derail. Estate. Favela. Quarry. My god. Scrapyard. Hello. Skid Row. Huh. Subbase. You played one half of the map in TDM. How can I forget the dog shit terminal? And then Wasteland. Wow. Stimulus, bailout, terrible. Crash, terrible. Overgrown, terrible. Salvage, terrible. Storm, terrible. Cool. Oh. Yes, another thing. Factions. It would be Rangers or Marines versus Op 4. Just like COD 4. I think that's... Is there anything I'm forgetting? Pretty sure. That's it. That's a fucking rape ass game I just made. I'm a beast.